Welcome to the Coffee Playdate podcast. I'm your hostess, Dr. Olga Dingar, and this is the place where I chat with entrepreneurs and physicians doing incredible things outside of medicine. And today we have a special guest, Dr. Mike Hodde. Welcome.
Thanks.
A first question I'd always like to ask is, do you drink coffee?
I definitely drink coffee.
And what's your favorite way to have your coffee?
Oh, I'm a black guy. When I first started, it was sugar, sugar, cream, cream, and then I weaned myself off of that in college, and I've been a black guy ever since.
Oh, wow. And now we're going to do some rapid fire questions. So just choose whichever one of these answers you like the most. Okay. Do you like treating athletes or watching sports?
At this point in my career, watching sports.
How about ultrasound guided injections or nerve conduction studies?
Ultrasound guided injections.
Nice. Speaking at medical conferences or teaching residents?
Teaching residents.
And how about if you had the superpower, would you rather heal bones or nerves instantly?
Probably nerves.
Very cool. All right. The next game is called Take a Sip. So I'm going to ask you which one would you choose? And if our answers match, then we both take a sip from our coffee cups.
Excellent. Well, I'm gonna break what I told you a minute ago. Today I'm having one of these things,
What's
which is
that?
a rarity for me. Well, this is a La Colombe draft latte.
Whoa.
They're delicious if you ever have one. I get them like once every couple months. So I had my black coffee this morning, and that's what I have now.
Oh, perfect. All right. So first question, what would you choose, hiking or beach day?
Oh, tough. I'm gonna go. Do we say it at the same time?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Hiking.
beach day.
Hiking.
No, I'm a beach day.
All right. How about airplanes or trains?
Airplanes.
Airplanes for me too. Take a sip. Next one is soccer or golf? Golf.
Soccer. Oh my goodness.
Different answers. And the last one is kayaking or paddleboarding?
I'm gonna go paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding. Me too.
Nice.
All right. So, Mike, I know about you, but can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'll be 40 next month. I grew up outside of Detroit, Michigan, ended up coming to Philadelphia for training in 2015 and been living here ever since with my wife, 2 kids, and 2 dogs. I'm a physiatrist by training, but now I subspecialize in interventional spine, doing epidurals and radiofrequency neurotomy for people with back pain and sciatica. I am a former athlete, but still try to stay active. My favorite sport is football. My guilty pleasure is probably playing video games. I don't know if you have any specific questions beyond the kind of general surface level stuff like that, but that's kind of me in a short nutshell.
No, that's perfect. I love it. We're going to talk a little bit about your disaster house story. My goodness.
Sure.
So tell me about what happened when you were purchasing your primary residence and kind of all of the sequence of events there.
Yeah. So we bought this house that I'm currently sitting in, which I'm again renovating. That's why I'm in a horrible posture because I'm sitting on the basement couch leaning into my laptop. Bought this house in 2021 and it had a just god awful, nasty, disgusting kitchen. And so we bought the property knowing that we wanted to take this kitchen out. And it was a, kind of secluded kitchen, had a wall we wanted to bring down. And being from Michigan, so is my wife, all the family's still back in Michigan. So we said, great, we're going to go to Michigan for 2 weeks, let them get the demo done, be done with it. And then we'll come back for the build up phase. So classically, 3 days in, we get a call from the contractor. Oh, we took the wall down. There were some foundation issues. We got to do some things. Okay, fine. So anticipated, moved on with it. Then fast forward a little bit further, we come home from that 2-week vacation, we open the door and the contractor had put down no temp walls, put no drop cloths on any of our stuff. So there was just construction dust and a significant amount of it over our entire house. Everything we owned was just caked in this dust. And of course I step in and I'm immediately upset about it. And he says, oh, no, don't worry. We'll get it cleaned up. We'll get it. Okay, fine. Fast forward, I don't know, maybe a week later in the kitchen, they took up the old subfloor to put down a new one and found out that the foundation around the whole back of the house was literally like dust. You could grab it. It was old stone and was just crumbling away. And the reason for that was we have a brick back patio that sloped towards the house and there was no drainage system there. So the house was built in the mid to early 1800s. We don't know the actual date, but for roughly 200 years, this water's just been coming into the foundation and eroding it away. So then we had to get 2 different structural engineers and special contractors to fix that, which delayed us months and cost us a good 80 grand right there. And then
Wow.
several months later, the real big hit came, and that was we've got this old door on the first floor, and it makes me think of like Tim Burton movies. It's all the
Mhm.
angles are weird, it's totally wonky, and it's been painted 8 billion times, and it just is very, very unclean. I mean, it's beautiful, it's white, and it's a clean color, but it's just a wonky looking door. So my wife's coming down the stairs with, at that time, my 2-year-old, and the painter is in there chipping paint out of the grooves, and she's clearly quicker on the draw than I am with this. I was upset about the aesthetics of it. And she goes, "Well, I'm pretty sure there's going to be lead paint in that door." So she confronted him about it, and he said, "Well, don't worry, I've got a big fan. I'm just blowing all these chips out of the house." So again, we have two kids at that time. Again, probably 2 years old and maybe 5 years old, somewhere in that range, and a dog. And we kind of freaked out. We said, "Oh my gosh!" And then about an hour or two later, it occurred to us that there was the wall they took down and there was an original door frame. And we were like, oh, there had to have been lead paint in that. So we went and bought testing strips and we started testing this dust that was still around the whole house. And everywhere we tested, the thing turned out brightly red, which means it's lead containing. And so we called
Oh.
a remediation company, and on the phone with my wife before they even came in the house, the response was, get out of the house immediately, call a lawyer, fire your contractor. And so again, we live in the heart of Philadelphia and my kids are in Philadelphia schools and we have a dog. And so we said, all right, well, how do we get out of this house? We have to find an Airbnb. The only thing we could find that would accept a dog. And so we found this place and we stayed there for 3 weeks, but it was going to cost almost more than I brought home after taxes a month to afford to stay in this place. So I drove them back to Michigan to stay with my mom. And I came back and lived in the house while I continued to work, but we fired the contractor. So then we had to have the remediation company come in, and they said, basically, you must throw away everything that you own that is porous in any way or electronic with fans. So we basically threw away 90% of everything we owned, all of our clothes, computers, TVs, all of our books, all of our furniture, all of the kids' toys, it all. And I've got pictures of just piles of trash that we had to hire somebody to come take away. And then I ended up laying brick in my back patio because I didn't have somebody to do it. So that's how I spent my days after work. But ultimately, in the end, we had a remediation come out, cleaned it all up, hired a new contractor to finish the work. But yeah, it was a financially disastrous situation that ended up taking, honestly, I forgot, probably a little over a year from what would have taken, 6 to maybe 8 weeks. And excitingly, I have one payment left on the first of next month, which would be the last payment of all of the debt that remained from that disaster. So 26 will be our year to start actually saving and investing some money ever since we bought this house in 2021.
Wow, what a
Yes, it was quite a
story.
story. So we
My
learned a
gosh.
lot. And somehow, even though we bought this house and went through this in 21, we did buy a rental property in Detroit that was built in the early 1900s. We bought that in 2023. We want to buy more, but just because of funds, we have only been able to afford the one, but we've even learned some lessons along the way there too. So it's been a very interesting few years for us.
Wow. But now you're experts in houses that were built in the 1900s.
Yes. And one of the best silver linings is because of this exposure to lead, my wife got very interested in toxic chemicals and detoxifying your life. And it certainly has made our day-to-day harder in terms of finding the right foods and things to eat that minimize exposure to these things. But it set my wife on a trajectory of learning about feng shui. So she's now a certified feng shui consultant, and now she's going down even deeper into like energetics and mysticism. So she's learning about crystals. So she's starting a company based on the things that she has learned from this. So, classic, trying to make some, taking lemons into lemonade situation.
That's beautiful. And what about you? What lesson did you take away from all of this?
Oh man, definitely patience and forgiveness for sure. And then this one I'm still working on, but more of an abundance mindset. I grew up with a bit of a scarcity mindset, and then when this happened, I had felt a lot of scarcity from it, financially especially. But now that we're starting to get to the outside of it, I'm starting to take on more of an abundance mindset, and I can see where the lessons we've learned from this will catapult us into something great.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And what advice would you give someone who's maybe facing a similar situation?
If you haven't made the purchase or started renovations yet, definitely learn about lead paint and some of the other things like asbestos and stuff, things that aren't in the homes currently being built, excuse me, but in some of these older homes. make sure you're aware of that. And when you're going to hire somebody, make sure you hire somebody who is knowledgeable about it and professional about it, and that you trust doing the work the right way. And then aside from just the home stuff, it's really about spending time regularly to work on your own mindset. My first exposure to that was Tony Robbins in, I think, 2022. And one of the things he famously says all the time is, life is happening for you, not to you. So anytime something horrific happens, as horrific as it may be, there's usually something to learn from it, or something, maybe a year, 3, 5, 10, 20, some point down the road that you can learn or gain from something bad that happened to you. So always having that kind of mindset to look at things that way.
Yes, exactly. Failures are just learning opportunities that help you grow in your life, for sure.
Yep.
And is there a book recommendation that you have for our listeners today?
So I'll give you the one that's top of mind right now, because I'm actually listening to it for a second time. And it might come as a surprise, but it's called Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. And he wrote it, and he also narrates it. And it is, if you're a Matthew McConaughey fan, it is an absolute nugget of gold. He does such a good job. And he is a surprisingly deep and insightful person. And so it has a ton of life lessons in there, parenting lessons, and just ways to flip your mindset to, be a better version of yourself, and understand when you step in shit, all you got to do is rub it off your boot and keep going, So it's a great book.
Amazing. You sound just like him.
Boy, do I wish. He's got a cooler little bit of a Southern accent than I do.
Well, thanks so much, Mike, for being on the Coffee Playdate podcast. It was great having you, and I hope to see you on a future episode.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for joining the Coffee Playdate podcast. Hit subscribe, tune into the next episode, and I'll see you at the next coffee chat.